Hi, everyone. I'm your host, Dr. Terry Haddad, Vice President of Community Initiatives at Community Services for Children. Welcome to the Parent Project Podcast. This work stems from our vision for an engaged community where every child thrives and every family succeeds. CSC has been serving families for over 50 years, and we know that parenting can be hard. We're inviting local doctors, teachers, counselors, social workers, and other experts to provide perspectives to help parents maneuver the sometimes challenging role of parenting. And today we're joined by Denise Continenza. Thanks for being here, Denise.
Thank you for having me, Terry.
She is a food, families, and health educator with Penn State Extension based in Lehigh County. Denise has been an extension educator for 21 years. She delivers community education on topics related to family well-being, such as parenting, mental wellness, school readiness, and financial literacy. Denise also coordinates the Communities That Care prevention education models in the Whitehall, Copley, and Catasauqua communities. She serves as a leader for the Extension Substance Misuse Team and is a certified mental health first aid instructor. Denise knows a whole lot about mental health, and today she's here to share some of her wisdom with us. So Denise, why is mental health such an important topic today?
Well, we're seeing an increase in need for services among children and youth in our community, and at the same time, we're seeing a lack of available resources for a lot of different reasons. A lot of data is coming out showing us that youth mental health has been on the decline. The Pennsylvania Youth Survey, which about 3/4 of the schools in Pennsylvania administer to middle and high school students every other year, showed that the number of youth that are experiencing extreme sadness, depression, suicidal ideation has been increasing, although not at an alarmingly high rate, but the rate is still alarmingly high. In the Pennsylvania PAYS for Lehigh County alone showed that in the 2021 survey, 10th graders, 23.5% seriously considered suicide. And that was up from 17.6% in 2019. So you can see it's increasing.
That's astonishing. 23% of 10th graders surveyed seriously considered suicide. Astonishing. And then I know I did hear recently the CDC report had some disappointing news about teenage girls. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so a recent report showed that 3 out of 5 teenage girls reported feeling hopeless or sad on most days in the past year, which is double the rate of boys and a 60% increase in those feelings over the last 10 years.
Oh, my goodness. So and is this due to COVID?
Well, yes and no. COVID has certainly played a role in the rates of depression and declining mental health among children and adults. Experts are saying that there's been a correlation, but not always a causation. It seems like COVID brought it out into the open. It made us more aware of what's going on with our own mental health. Stressors were already there for kids. When we think about the increase in social media over the past 10, 15 years, the stressors on families, the pressures to perform in school and sports, and then you added the layer of isolation during COVID on top of that. A lot of things that may have been simmering were brought to the surface. And then on top of that, we have, and it's actually a good thing, we're really working hard to reduce the stigma around mental health. It's become more and more okay to say I need help. So more kids who may have been harboring those feelings of sadness and despair are now coming forth and seeking out their counselors, their parents, even their peers. So it's becoming more okay to ask for help.
Well, thank goodness for that. And so what should parents be looking for? How do they know when their child is having a real mental health situation?
Yeah, when parents see changes in their child's behaviors that are persistent over time, every kid has bad days. We all have bad days. But when a child maybe is having more angry outbursts, tantrums, more than usual, and they're getting stronger and they're persisting over time, that would be something to look for in a younger child. Teachers reporting that they're having behavioral issues in the classroom or angry outbursts. So when the parent is seeing a change in behavior that is persistent throughout various situations and domains and is also increasingly exacerbating, that's a flag that their child might need some help. In teenagers, those years are tricky because it's a time of rapid brain change and hormonal changes anyhow. So for a young person to spend a lot of time in their bedroom, kind of withdrawing from their family, is developmentally appropriate. But at the same time, if it's persistent or extreme and the child is not taking an interest in things that used to interest them, they're disengaging from their friends, school performance is declining, their circle of friends may be changing, that could be some indications that a parent needs to pay attention to.
What recommendations do you have for parents? You start noticing some of these things. What should you do?
Yeah, it's really hard for parents not to want to judge or comment or maybe reprimand. Come out of your room and start interacting. We have company. Come downstairs. But rather that parents talk from a point of concern. Hey, I've noticed you're spending a lot of time in your bedroom. You're sleeping a lot more. It looks like you're losing weight. Yeah, describing what is observable to their child and say, I'm concerned and I'm worried. So they can hopefully open the door for their child to talk to them. Adopting a perspective of what might be going on for my child rather than, why is my kid doing this to me, when they throw a tantrum or say, I hate you, or whatever else they do, that's really raising a flag.
So we've got these behaviors, they're observable. I've tried to talk to my child and the behaviors persist. What do I do now?
If you're feeling that there's still something going on, go with that gut feeling. Suggest to the child, maybe it'd be good for you to talk with someone about some of the stuff you're going through. Maybe they've given you an inkling of what might be going on. Who's someone you'd like to talk to? I really think it'd be good for us to talk to someone because so rarely does a kid have a problem that it's not something that impacts the whole family. So parents should reach out for help. They can reach out to their child's school, which is the first place parents should reach out to because a lot of services, programs, resources are initiated there. So the school counselor, some schools have a communities and schools worker or a school social worker. So reaching out to the school is a good starting point to find out what's available for children in the school. Most schools, certainly in the Lehigh Valley, have a wide array of tiered services. So there's like level 1, which are kind of on the preventive side, early intervention. Then we move up to intervention services. And then there's resources for therapeutic counseling for children that are really struggling.
Wow, we've come a long way there, haven't we?
Yes, we've really prioritized mental well-being just like physical health.
That's wonderful. There was a time when none of those things were covered or available. So
it was pushed under the rug. It was something you just didn't talk about.
Right. So, and what about the county? So do the counties have anything to offer?
Yeah, the counties in Pennsylvania all have departments of human services, and they provide an array of mental health, early intervention, drug and alcohol prevention. So, and that's another good starting place to find services if you do want to pursue that route. Find out through your county, visit your county website, call their information and referral line, find out what's available.
You've given us so much to think about, Denise, from the way to sort of observe your children and the way to get help. And thank you for all of the work you're doing across the Lehigh Valley to help children and youth. Anything else you want to tell our listeners?
I think one thing that we've found out from our work at Extension is that a lot of people aren't even aware of the benefits that are available to them through their employers. Even a lot of our own staff were not aware of our employee assistance program. They all work a little differently if your company has one, but ours provides up to 5 free counseling sessions with a therapist on their list, and that is extended to the employee, the employee's family members, even out to in-laws.
Wow.
So that's now not all EAPs work that way. They also have a website with all kinds of resources about raising children, financial stressors, all kind of information, webinars that people can tap into, and that's an employee benefit. So really good to check with your HR office, find out what's available, and same with your insurance company. If you have private insurance, find out what you're eligible for.
Well, I love that. The school, the county, and even your employer can help. So there's help available for parents whose children may be having challenging behaviors, and that's really good news because those years can be very, very trying on the whole family.
One of the things that we offer through Extension as well is mental health first aid training, and there's a module specifically for people who interact with youth, whether it's just coaches, teachers, parents, whatever your role is. But it helps people practice some skills and learn how to feel comfortable saying, I think something's up, and being open and practicing the skills needed to connect that young person to whatever level of services they need.
And how can people find out about that course?
They can log on to the Extension website at extension.psu.edu and search mental health first aid, and it will pop up.
Very good. Well, thank you for being here, Denise. And we appreciate, again, your expertise and all you do for children and families in Lehigh Valley.
Thank you, Terry.
Thanks so much. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for listening. To learn more about the Parenting Project podcast, Project Child, or Community Services for Children, please visit cscinc.org.